Good evening, and welcome to the Parent Impact, presented by the National Parents Union. I'm your host, Tafshier Cosby, and thank you for joining us tonight, Tuesday, December the 8th. You could have been anywhere, you could have been surfing anywhere in the net, but you're here with us, and we're happy to have you here. We have a really fantastic guest tonight, and I'm really excited and looking forward to talking with her. So let's start with our usual updates. So our NORC update, we have finished our 10-day lockdown that we were on that actually finished last Friday. So with the 10-day lockdown, stores being closed, blocks being closed, wards being closed, we actually saw a decrease in our number of COVID cases. So that means that we were at least doing something right. So keep it up, Nork, right? We're not on a lockdown right now, but keep up the good work. Everybody stay masked up. We know it's holiday time. We know that people are out shopping for Christmas gifts and food and things like that. But please make sure that you continue to stay masked up. We did really well. We had, I think, a 7% decrease in the number of COVID cases in the 10-day lockdown. So we can do better, right? The more we stay in the house and the more that we make sure that we are washing our hands and wearing our masks, the greater the increase of the decrease of people that we're going to have who actually are tested positive for COVID. So keep up the good work, Nork. Make sure you stay maxed up, and we'll continue to see those decreases and maybe not have a lockdown again. I mean, some people were not happy about that lockdown. So maybe let's not do that again if we can help it. But it takes us all. It takes us all to do our part to make sure that we are not on lockdown again. So make sure that we are doing that. So also in Newark news, Newark Public School, there has been a report out today for the amount of money that has been spent so far on PPE, personal protection equipment, and things for when school actually opens back up. Families in Newark, we know for Newark Public Schools and also a few of the charter districts, the date for these schools to open up for in-person learning has been pushed back. We are in orange as a city. So that means that we still have a high number of COVID cases. And that means that the schools cannot open up in person. So we know that the original dates that we had for schools to be open were in early January. So now a lot of schools have actually pushed that back to early February. So schools are again trying to be safe, right? Every decision that is being made is for the children, to make sure that children are safe, to make sure that teachers are safe, to make sure that families are safe. So schools have been pushed back. That is happening right now. Also for Newark Public Schools, there was a report that showed the amount of money that was spent so far when they thought that the schools were actually going to open up in September. So they received $18.3 million for PPE. Of that 18.3, they spent about 3 million total right now for their PPE. They bought 750,000 face coverings, 35 desktop barriers, 3,000 gallons of hand sanitizer. That is a lot of hand sanitizer. So this is just talked about a few things that the Newark Public School District has spent on some of their PPE. So I think as we go along, more reports are going to be going out about how much money is being spent on PPE. And again, this is an effort to make sure that our families are safe, that our children are safe, that our teachers are safe when they actually physically go back into the school building. So yes, Kim, there are no schools opening in January. That includes charter. We are in orange, and we just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. I know it's been difficult, parents. I know it's been difficult, students, doing this remote learning. But keep the faith, right? And make sure that you are, as a parent, make sure you are checking in on your child's homework, checking in with your child's teacher, making sure that you are part of these conversations surrounding opening, right? A lot of, again, our report from October from the National Parents Union, our nationwide survey showed that 50% of parents were not part of the conversation when the schools were having about reopening, hybrids, remote. Please make sure that you are part of these conversations as we now move into 2021, right? The second half, essentially, of the school year, 6 more months. So make sure you are part of these conversations, that your voice is being heard and what it is that you want to happen at your child's school. So state of New Jersey, again, our numbers are up. Our numbers are going up. We have lots of different things happening across the state. The Senate Education Committee met yesterday. They met on, what's today, Tuesday? They met yesterday morning. They had a lot of different bills that they were going over. One of the bills is actually slated for the Department of Education to submit a report of the student learning loss, also operational things that were happening. Did they have enough teachers? How were the kids learning? Was it asynchronous? Was it synchronous? Did the kids have in-person learning? Did they have a teacher in front of them? So the Senate Education Committee has called for the Department of Education to submit a report with that data. So that is something that Parent Impact supported. We had families and we had students also support. We sent our statement of support for that bill to be passed. It's important for parents to have that data, right? To find out about what learning loss has occurred through assessments with students. It's also important to find out operationally what's happening at the school so we can compare that data to other schools in our same district or other schools across our state, right? We as parents have the right to that information to know what's going on. So that has passed through the Senate. So it now moves to a second reading. So again, Parent Impact has supported that measure to make sure that this data is coming out and that it's going to be made public and that the information garnered from the data is actually used to make sure that children's learning loss is being measured, because that's something that's very, very important to us. So those are my two updates. I want to bring on someone who's awesome. I've known her for a few years. She always has a super, super positive attitude. She is a fantastic mom. She's a fantastic wife. I know that because her husband always talks about her and gives her praise and praise and praise, and she knows she's a fantastic wife. She's just a great community member. She left us in the city of Newark, so we're a little mad at her. But what we're not mad at is that she is still doing her part as a parent advocate where she lives in South Jersey. So, and tonight we're going to talk about a new book that she's a part of, a fantastic book that she's a part of, and we're going to talk about healing through stories. So please welcome Mrs. Tempest Newsome Elijah to Parent Impact. Hey, girl.
Hey! Hello, everyone.
How are you? How are you, Miss?
I'm good. Just staying afloat like everybody else is doing. I think that's all we
That's it.
can do right now.
That's it. That's all we can do. Wash our hands, mask up, and
Stay
stay at home.
afloat. That's it. That's it.
That is
Keep it safe.
literally all that
That's
we can
all we
do.
can
So,
do. That's all we can do. Doing our
yep,
best.
that's it. So, how's your family holding up in this COVID environment? How's everybody? How's everybody else?
Uh, Everybody is just adjusting to the new normal. It's not easy for anyone.
Yeah,
I have 9 children. So we decided to do hybrid. Of course, amidst some of the schools, well, the high school decided to close down for a couple of weeks. So now they're all virtual. The smaller babies are in school. It's, it's a lot. It's
yeah.
a lot of juggling. A lot of juggling. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, 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 Stacey.
A lot of
Yeah,
juggling,
I
but
could imagine with nine children. God bless you. God bless you. I
like
mean,
I always say, when everybody asks me, "How do you do it?" I say, "Like Nike, I just do it."
that's it. You got
That's
no
it.
choice, right? You got to make
That's
sure the
all you
babies
can
is
do.
taken care of, right? You
That's
gotta
all you can do.
got to make sure you take care of the babies. We were just talking offline, about the difference between girls and boys, raising them, the difference
Mhm.
between what you know as a woman about boys and, what you think you know about girls.
Mhm.
And it's difficult both ways, right? It's difficult for raising a boy, it's difficult for raising a girl. Um,
Absolutely.
I was sharing the story about my son,
Mhm.
the millennial who
Yep.
now has a job, right? He has a part-time job that he's working now. And I went to drop him off at work, and he thinks, and you know what? I shouldn't put this on all millennials. Maybe this is just my son. I don't know. Chime in here if you guys have
I
like
don't think so.
19 year olds and this is what you've experienced, right? I went to drop him off at work and first off, he gets up, late because he has to be there at 3. So he wants to get out of bed at 2:30 to be there work at 3 o'clock. And
Mhm.
then he wants to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get coffee, and he's already late to work. And I'm telling him, you can't walk into work late with a cup of Dunkin' Donuts, right? Like, not only are
Mhm.
you late, but then you also walk telling them that you stopped someplace else. So you
Right.
like purposely knew you were going to be late. So,
Right.
just, let me know if anybody else has this experience with their millennials because the work ethics sometimes for them. So,
Yeah, and I like I said, offline, you just think, um, oh, watch out for those girls or whatever, and without a certain kind of experience, like me now as a mother and a wife, you you get it. It's
yep,
totally
yep.
different. Like you grow up with this idea of men roar, I'm strong, hear me roar, the provider, protector, all that. And it's not to say that they're not, because they are. However, when you cross over into that nurturing side, you see that other side of them, that side that needs to be nurtured and coddled and pushed
Yep.
and
Yep.
given that little extra push. And so I'm glad I'm not alone
You're
because
not
it's
alone.
like, my girls are older. I have the two girls are older, then I have the boys, then I have the girls, then so they're like all intermingled in there.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the girls are like on point, this, that. Then with my oldest son, I'm just like, come on, you got it. You can do it. Let's go. Come on. So
And we're not picking on the boys.
no.
Moms are boys. We're not picking on the boys.
We love our boys. We
We do
love
love
our
our boys.
men.
We're just
Yes.
giving our experience. Jamila,
Yes.
stop calling out my friend. I know Jamila. I know he's not watching because he probably will be mad at me. He'd be like, "Please stop talking about me. Stop talking about me." But I'm not calling him out.
Look,
But
I'm
I'm
over
just
here
saying.
trying to keep my voice down a little bit because my oldest son, his room right next to us, so he probably like, she talk about
He
me.
talking about me? Yep. Yep. You know he is. You know he is. You know how they
Uh-huh.
do. It's so true. It's so
Yeah.
true. So tell us more, about yourself. Like I said, you are, still a strong parent advocate. You
Yes.
left us in the city of Newark, but you still continue to do
I
your
love
work
you
where you
guys.
live.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
About your work as an author, a writer, a book distributor. Tell us more. Tell us more.
So I'm a pretty busy mama. And I do a lot of planning. So my life is one big planner, right? I have everything planned out from um, when I'm going to write, when I'm going to go to a school event, what meeting I'm going to attend, what teacher I'm going to talk to, when I'm going to text a teacher. Like today, for instance, I sent two of my boys, my fifth grader and my third grader, I sent their teachers a text telling them to tell the boys to have a good day all day. It's
Kind
something
of
that I tell the kids every day when they walk out the door. And I was on mommy crazy mode today, 10, because they were supposed to have their stuff ready for school yesterday and they didn't.
mm,
And so when they left out, I wasn't, nice mama bear. So I know that it's important for them to have certain things done and implemented for them to have a successful day,
right.
because I do it for myself and it keeps the ball rolling.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm a busy mom. I'm a very dedicated and supportive wife. My
Yes.
husband is a fireman. So, that's a lot of stress, a lot of mental stress. So I try to make sure, like, mentally and emotionally, he's in a good place. But we're
Right.
human, right? So
That's right.
transparently, we got into a little spat this morning
Uh-oh.
on his way to work. But
Mm-hmm.
I made
Mm-hmm.
sure that I sent that text to have a good day. So, you
Right.
know, I'm very active in those roles as a writer. It's just about finding the time and the space. Before we moved to South Jersey, I've been supposed to I've been writing and working on my autobiography for years.
Right.
Anybody that knows a little bit or a part of my story, teenage mom, I've survived a domestic abuse survivor, and that's what I talk about in my chapter of the book, The Healing Anthology, that we're
Okay.
talking about tonight.
Okay.
I've, come out of relationships that you would have thought like, oh, she ain't gonna survive that, men into the wrong things,
Yep.
me right along with them. again, teenage mom. So I went through a lot, and everybody that knew some of my story is like, "Oh, you need to write." And I'm like, I know,
Yes.
I am,
Yes.
and I have been for years. And it's almost as if this anthology project just pushed me, even more, because this chapter 7, this anthology will be like a prelude to my
Yes.
autobiography. So it works. Um, I'm just a natural born nurturer, right? So I've always nurtured. I always knew I wanted a big family. Just bouncing around, trying to give you guys a little feeling of me, just to get the
Yep.
broad perspective. I always knew I wanted to be a mom. I always loved helping people. I always had really good relationships with older people. So they would call me like a old soul, because I always enjoyed talking to and sitting with and just soaking in wisdom from elders. My first job was in a hair salon in Newark, Mr. Davis. I don't know if anybody knows him, probably, but Mr. Davis, I was one of his workers, and just soaked up a lot of wisdom from him. From there, a lot of my friends, parents, and stuff like that. And before the pandemic, I worked as a healthcare worker in a senior assisted living building. So I'm just a nurturer, and I just love to help and give. And my passion is children.
Right.
So I've always done advocacy from the time
Yes.
my oldest, who's now 17, was in preschool with the Leaguers. I was on that council,
Right.
that parent
That's right.
council. I've
That's right.
always been big on advocacy and being that extra little touch that sometimes parents, it's not to say that we forget about our babies, but you get caught up in life, and so you
Yep.
forget. So it's nothing wrong with, that village being there
Absolutely.
and saying,
Absolutely.
"Hey,
Yeah,
you having
saying
a
like
good
thank you,
day?"
right? Saying like thank you, and I got you. That village saying I got you, right? You talk a lot, about the children, and your family and being around your family. I know you spend a lot of times around your family. Chanel saying, hey Chanel.
Hey.
I know you spend a lot of time, with your family, a lot of your extended family. Tonight's topic is healing and wellness through stories, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about ways that you can heal and ways that you can have wellness through the stories that you tell. As a writer, I think for most people who say that they write, most people who write, I think the one thing they say is, it's not the writing, it's finding the time to do the
Yeah.
writing, right? So tell us about your process for your writing. Was being so busy, right? What
Yeah.
is your process for the time that you spend writing? And how do you really put your thoughts down on paper, and how does it help you heal?
I've I've learned that I get in where I fit in. So if I'm inspired by, like through therapy, they teach you about triggers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And something can be on TV, or my husband and I can have a conversation, or even me and one of my teenage daughters, right, can have a conversation, and I will remember, and like I said, and plan to write down what inspired me,
Right.
and not allow social media interruptions or whatever, TV or
Yeah.
whatever, to take
Distraction.
place of
Mm-hmm.
that priority, that, to not distract me, like you said, and to do what I have to do. Just write it down, even if
Right.
it's for 2 minutes. What I've grown to learn is 2 minutes of writing, you way further than you were
Right.
without doing it at
2 minutes
all.
ago. Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever you're inspired, because there are a lot of people who have a story to tell,
Yes.
and that's coming from
Yes.
me, a person with a story to tell. You never know who you're touching or healing. And I learned that my story isn't mine to keep,
Yes.
because it's for others, and
Absolutely.
that's a part of the healing in itself.
Absolutely. And I've heard that from a lot of people. They say, and I say a lot of times when I'll tell a story about myself and, I'll even say to myself, like, I'm tired of telling this story, and I always, people always say to me, the story's not for you. It's for other people. It's for other
Yep.
people to hear your story and be able to relate to your story and, be empowered by you telling your story. And it also helps to empower other people to tell their stories.
Yeah.
Chanel has a question here. Would you suggest recording your story if you don't have time to write?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My sister actually got me a recorder one year for Christmas to help me along. But me personally, I just writing comes to life for me. Like writing brings it to life. Just like there's different kinds of learners, visual
Right.
and interpret. So
Auditory.
I'm a write. I have to write. Like even like I've tried typing, but you have people that still literally write out their stories or whatever
Yes.
first, and then so I can type it or whatever, but my little inspirational plugs, I have to write those down and then
Right.
refer back to them.
Right. Do you
It's
have a lot of little bits of paper like
I
around you?
have
Do you have like,
journals.
journals?
I'm
Okay.
such a
Okay.
journaler. I have about 5 journals on the side of my end table for different things with different motivational, inspirational quotes on top of them.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
started actually writing poems in high school,
Awesome.
and I had like 2 volumes, 2 poem book volumes, and
And that was cathartic, right? Like just being able to get it down.
love
And
it.
what time do you write? Like what time of the day is best for you to write? Is it at night? Is it early in the morning?
This is a horrible. This is really bad of me. I am one of the worst insomniacs. Like,
Ah, join the
and I
club.
I need my rest. But I read somewhere once that something that helps insomnia is if you read, like if you wake up, you get up, you actually walk around and you read, it'll put you back
Hmm.
to bed. Like you could go
Okay.
to sleep better.
I'm
It
gonna
don't
have to
really work
try
for
that.
me. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that because normally when I'm up, I'm just up. Like I very rarely get out of the bed though. Because if I get out of the bed, I know that's when I'm
Now
like
you
getting
up
ready to
up.
get up, and then I'm wandering around. I'm downstairs. I'm trying to wash the dishes. 3 o'clock in the morning. But I'll just stay in the bed, and then I also have a journal next to my bed as well. That's something that
Yeah.
I actually started last year. I'll pick up my
Yeah.
journal. I'll do some writing. Some inflections, some writing
Mhm.
about the day, writing about what I want to do tomorrow, things like that, and that does kind of help me calm myself a
Yeah.
little bit, a little bit.
It like writing for me, it not only calms me, but it clears my head. Like I'll
Yeah,
write everything, like to the point where what do I have to get today from the store? Like
right,
earlier it was dish detergent, like even small little things. So I'm not overwhelming myself with so much to do. If I write
right.
it and it's out there, it's out there. Like, it's out of my brain, it's visible, and I read and watched something that Steve Harvey said. He was like, all successful people write everything down. They write their
Yep,
goals and all of that stuff down. And I actually did that as an
yep,
exercise with all the children and everything.
yep. Writing
But
makes it tangible, right? Writing it down
it's
makes it tangible.
tangible.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like you see it, you read it, you believe it in your mind. You're like, this thing is coming to fruition. But like we talked about, it's also healing, right?
It
It's
is.
also healing. It's healing. It's therapeutic.
Yep.
Chanel says, child, the writing is straight
Yes.
pill for me.
Yes. I don't know. It is something. So I'll read a little bit and I'll be like, okay, I'm still feeling a little something. So then I'll write a little bit and I'm
Yep,
good to
and that's
go.
it. That's it.
Mhm.
Stacy asked about writing up. What about using sentence prompts? Is that something that you use sometimes, like sentence, like starting a sentence, a prompt, or maybe
Um,
just a word, right? You hear a word and you think, let me write something about that.
maybe that intertwines with the trigger, right? So I'll hear a word or not an actual sentence prompt that I've read, but like through conversation.
Right.
If a certain conversation is had, and let's just say like one of my girls say something like, "Yeah, I wish I would have," and I'm
Hmm.
like, I wish I would have.
Right. How do I turn that now into a longer kind of narrative about things
Hmm.
that I wish I would have, or thinking
Hmm.
about your life as a younger person,
Right. And then I make sure I never miss the opportunity with my children to dive into those conversations,
Right.
those if I would have and who I am. I'm extremely transparent with them.
Yeah.
Um, because I feel like it's therapeutic. I feel like listen, yeah, I have, but that doesn't mean you have to.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, writing prompts,
Absolutely.
they're good.
Yep. So tell us more about your new book. I know you've
Mhm.
had books that you've written. Like you said, you've been writing poems since high school. You've written in your journal. I know you have hundreds of them. I have a friend, my friend T. She also is a big journaler. She has like
Yes,
hundreds of journals, throughout the
yes,
years that she's written in. And she actually wrote a book based on her journals, right? She went back to her journals.
love it,
She went back to a few of her Facebook posts, and she actually wrote a book about the writings in her journal.
love it.
So tell us more about this current book. It's called Chapter 48, The
Yep.
Healing Anthology, right? And you have a
Yes.
chapter in there. So tell us more about the book.
So this is such an exciting journey that all of the authors included in this book. Um, Coretta Doctor, she's the lady who brought us all together, and she asked me to be a contributing author, knowing some of my story. And my chapter is chapter 7. I
Okay.
chose chapter 7 uh completion for me. I feel like, again, full circle moment for me because my chapter I talk about teenage domestic violence. My chapter's titled Violent Passion, and it is inspired by, like I said, my daughters are now teenagers, and so it really hit home. They were, because it's like when I wrote the chapter, I was their age and was in a domestic violent relationship, emotionally, physically, mentally. I get into a actual episode
Mm,
where he had slammed my door, my face in the door, and my mother was on the other side of the door in the kitchen. So this was all happening, right while she's right there
mhm,
without
mhm.
knowing. And it's just like, again, wow, it can
Right.
be so close as
Right.
a mom, and my mother wouldn't have that if
Right.
she
That's right.
knew that. And
Exactly.
so, as a
Exactly.
mother myself of these teenage girls, it's like, wow,
Right.
it,
You have
it
you
just
have to tell
becomes
them this story, right? You have
so
to share
much
the
real.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have honestly been able to stop my daughters from, or to assist them in not getting in certain kind of relationships, because I'm aware of the flags, the
Right.
red flags,
Right.
and I'm able to communicate those with them.
Right.
Teenage domestic violence is not talked about.
No.
You hear about domestic violence often. We hear about domestic violence so often, not realizing that it starts in teenage years and
Exactly.
preteen
Exactly.
years,
Yeah.
12,
Middle
13,
school.
14.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It starts there, and it's just something that carries over into our adulthood. And
Absolutely.
now we've developed these behaviors, and
Yeah.
it's just become our norm. And
Right.
so we've begun to just settle into what we know. We forget our purpose, because
Yeah.
that's how it happens. Because I was a dancer, I was a professional dancer. I danced at NJ Pack,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Newark Symphony Hall. I danced all over, did tours with the Brick City Dancers, like a lot of people, a lot of
Right.
well-known people.
Right.
And then once I stopped dancing, my purpose was gone.
Right.
So now I was able to be submerged and
In
infiltrated,
this
if you will have,
relationship, right? In
right,
this
in this
relationship.
relationship
Yeah. Yeah.
that was toxic, that was negative, because my purpose was out of sight. And
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
I am
Yeah, I mean, Chanel says, everyone has
absolutely,
a story to tell, right? She's learning to be
absolutely,
documenting our story, right? And be there.
absolutely.
So this story, like you said, is for your daughters, right? It's for
It's
your
for,
daughters to
and
learn.
not just them, the peers, their friends. Like
Yes.
down here in South Jersey, they call me Mama New. You
I
like
like that.
I like you said, I carry my advocacy everywhere I go. It's for their friends, their peers, just teenagers, and not just females, males as well.
Right.
Teenage domestic violence is real. And I
Yeah.
feel like if we can document it, if we can get it out there, like Chanel said, when we're not here or when we're not
Yeah.
present. Because, like I always say, I'm not always going to be there, but I
That's right.
want something about what I'm telling you to be in your head, to be in your ear, to be in
Exactly.
your heart. So you
That's
could
right.
say, you know what? No, it's not worth it.
That's right. That's
And
right. And they have your story, right? They'll have
absolutely,
your story. They'll have your journals. They'll have your life, right? Where you actually are writing down these things that are happening to you, but also you're writing about how you got over, right? Like
absolutely,
how you overcame the
absolutely,
things that happened to you when you were younger, right? It was
absolutely,
traumatic, but this is how I got over. This
absolutely.
is me documenting to you what I did.
Absolutely. And it took time because from a
Yeah.
teenage domestic violence situation, I got into an adult domestic violence situation,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
ended horribly, you know. And it took for my child being hurt, one of my children to be hurt before something snapped in me.
Mhm.
Now, I was doing counseling, I was doing therapy, trying to do everything I can, but I had to learn that purpose part.
Right.
What's my purpose? And one of my therapists, I'll never forget it. As long as I live, she said, "You put so much into your children. What about you? Because
Yes.
when they grow up, it's like the curtains are going to open and then
Right.
it's just going to be you on that
Right.
stage. And what will you have to say about yourself? What do
Exactly.
you have that you've left for you?"
Absolutely.
And I was like,
Absolutely.
whoa,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That
And
becomes our
so,
identity, right? Mom becomes our
right,
identity. We
right.
lose who we
We
are
lose
underneath it.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. So now it was like, okay, what is my purpose again? So
Right.
that purpose piece is the most important piece. I feel like if there's any message that I can tell anybody today, your purpose. And I say this in the book, I say this in my chapter. See, the thing is, I never lost myself.
Right.
I thought I had, and from the outside world, you might have thought I had. The perception could have been, "Oh, you lost you." No, no, I was in there somewhere.
Right.
I just had to uncover. I had to do my work and see, like, okay, here we are. I'm someone who likes to dance. I'm
Right.
someone who likes to write. I'm someone who loves to sing. I love to nurture. I love to help. What's my purpose today? What's
That's
my purpose tomorrow? A lot of teenage pregnancies happen because males forget their purpose. And then before you
yeah.
know it, your purpose is in your children, and that's it.
Yes,
You've
ma'am.
forgotten yourself.
Yes.
And so now
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like you said, the kids leave and, they go away, they go to college, they leave the house, and you're wondering, like, well, who am I? Then it's like
Absolutely.
you have to make up for the time that you didn't know yourself and now go back to finding yourself. Absolutely. And Miller
Absolutely.
says, she finds it
Yes.
so important that children see us living our purpose, right? They see that.
Absolutely.
They see it happening. But not only are
Absolutely.
you, living your purpose and helping with your healing by writing the books, but you're also a book distributor, right? So you're
Yes.
helping other people be
Yes.
able to tell their stories and live their truth. So tell us more about the books that you're working, the book authors that you're working with for distribution.
Well, right now it's the healing anthology book.
Okay. Okay.
So I've been distributing that, you know,
Okay.
personally, like personal consultant or whatever,
Okay.
distributing that book. And it's a beautiful journey. Like
Yeah.
the whole, just to be a part of it, to be a part of this anthology project amongst these authors, like it's there's a lot of short stories. There's some
Okay.
amazing stories in this book. There's a lot of inspirational quotes
Okay.
there, and so
So what's the makeup of the writers of the book? Are they, are they women? Are they men? Are they old? Are they
it's
young? Are they black? Are they white?
there's a variety. There's a
Okay.
variety. I'm like almost like the baby of the bunch, almost, sorta,
Okay. Okay.
but there is a variety. You have women talking about their mental health. You have women talking about abuse as well,
Mm-hmm.
and men as well. It is
I can't wait
something
to read it. I
to
can't
look
wait to read
forward to.
it.
And again, I'm chapter 7, violent passion, because
Okay.
like I said, I was having like a full circle aha moment, and it was like, wow, I'm
Yeah.
writing about teenage domestic violence, my experience with it, while my daughters are growing into young women. And my oldest just turned 17 a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, which was extremely emotional for me, because at her age I got pregnant,
Mm. Okay.
and she a couple of days before her birthday, got accepted into a dentistry Voltech program. So
All
it's just
right.
like,
Yes, right. Like the trajectory, right? The
yeah,
trajectory of her life, right? Juxtaposed to the trajectory of your life,
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like proud mom because you're like,
yeah,
she went a different way.
yeah. And
She went
I'm
a
not
totally different
ashamed.
way. Right,
Yeah,
right.
I'm not ashamed of
That's
that.
right. That's right.
You
But that was
know,
what you were doing, nurturing, right? You were that. That is because of you and your husband, right, and your family. Like
absolutely,
the way she goes
absolutely.
is because of you. Is because
Yeah,
of the parent you are, because of the advocate you are, right? Because of what you poured into your children,
yeah,
as a mother.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And it's
absolutely.
important. That's
Right.
important to never, like I said earlier, never miss the opportunity. Right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
never miss the opportunity. And I'm sure my kids, well, the older ones now, they're like, no, no, no. Whenever I say, I know y'all tired of me, but we have family meetings.
That's right.
I'm one of those. We have
That's right.
family meetings. We have conversations.
That's
I
right.
get raw, unfiltered, uncut, my husband and I, with these kids. We go around, we tell each other what we love about each other, we tell
Yes.
each other what we can improve, we
Yes.
improve all everything, but I
Mm-hmm.
never miss
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity. And I'm very real and very honest with my children about my life and my story.
Yeah.
But I had to be honest with myself first, right?
That's
And I
right.
had to do my healing, and I had to accept that some people not going to understand, they're not going to get it, and they're going to criticize, they're going to feel what they want to feel, but that's not, I don't care about that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? My thing is, this is real. Teenage pregnancy is real.
That's right.
Teenage domestic violence is real, and that's
Right.
really what I want to build my platform on, speaking about that, and
Yeah.
reaching these teenagers
Yeah.
when it comes
Absolutely.
to that.
Right, with your authentic stories. So do you plan on, I know we're virtual, right? But do you plan on, doing any virtual sessions where you're talking about the book, or maybe hosting, reading about different chapters, or maybe having conversations with young people? Is that something that you have in the works?
It is. It definitely is. On my website, I actually have a portion where you can check it out. It says Tea with Temp, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
this was before the pandemic came up. So I'm trying to we're trying to revamp everything to fit this whole virtual and pandemic situation, because that was going to be, it is going to be me conversing one
Right.
on one with the teen, or the teen parents, or both, and just giving my insight.
Right.
And I'm not a therapist, But sometimes, a lot of times, just feeling like you have that person, that non-judgmental, that person that's been there, that person that you could say,
Right. Be
just
open with,
breathe,
exhale
just
with. Yeah.
exhale with.
Yeah.
It's nothing like it. So that's one of my most favorite services that I offer, the Tea with Temp. I definitely plan on doing some motivational speaking
Okay.
around teenage domestic violence to different schools, and I've been asked to go to a couple of places already. However, again, the pandemic is in the way, but we're gonna get there. It ain't gonna be
We
here
will.
forever. It's
We
not gonna be
will.
here forever. And I'm here and I'm willing to speak and just advocate.
Yeah. Well,
Advocate.
thank you so much. Thank you for being your authentic self.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for always bringing your whole self, to
Oh,
conversations, and bringing your, your voice, and just bringing your positive spirit, to every, I know for every space that we've been in together, it's always, you always leave
yes.
people, better than we came.
Yes.
You have a lot of support out here. You have
Thank
Jermaine, who is
you.
supporting you,
Hi,
saying like, Tempest, I'm so proud of you. You
Jermaine.
have Craig, God
Hey,
has a plan for you.
Craig.
Keep it going, Tempest. And then
These
you
are
have,
all friends from like, oh my
and
high
who's this? Who's this?
school.
This would be Mr. Elijah, right? Watching with
Yes.
your pride, feeling my soul, So you
So
definitely have, the support out here from your friends, your family, from everyone who loves you. And we're just proud of you. We're proud that you're bringing your authentic voice. We're proud that, you're part of this book that helps people to heal, because we're healing through words. There are so many different ways that people can heal themselves. I'm also, a book fan. Jamila knows we have conversations
yes.
all the time about audiobooks, like audiobooks. Now that's actually one way to put me straight to sleep. If I listen to an audiobook, I'm sleeping 5 minutes. Like, and I have
Yes.
no idea what I just heard, like heard or read. It does not
Right.
fit. I need to have a book. I need to crack it open. I hit it a
Mm-hmm.
spine crack, and then
Mm-hmm.
smell the book. Smell it. That that's
I
that's
love.
that's that's what I love.
Oh, I
About the
love the
actual
smell of
book.
a
So
book.
Jamila,
I
I always
love
talk
the
about that.
smell of a
Like,
book.
I need that. I need that in my life. So where
Mm-hmm.
can people actually buy the book? We have your website going across the bottom. If you see the ticker across the bottom, her website, it's tempest.com. You can also check her out on Facebook. It's Tempest.
Yes.
So how do people purchase the book so they can have this in their collection?
So as of right now, I am a personal consultant. So I'm selling the book. I will, I get it. I take your information. You can email me. We don't have my email going across the bottom, but it is on
I
my
can put it in
website.
the chat. Yeah, I can
Okay,
put it in the chat if
yes.
you like.
Tafshier is going to put it in the chat.
Okay.
So I'm right now, just for right now, I'm taking the orders.
Okay.
I send because I have a special link for the publisher company, for the publishing company. So I send the publishing company the orders. They send me an invoice and they ship the books to me, and I ship them directly to you.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
that's
what's
how
the
we're
email
doing it
address?
as of now. They'll
Okay.
be available outside,
Like
Amazon and stuff
Amazon
like
and
that.
places like
Yeah.
that. Okay. So
Yeah.
get in early, right?
Yep.
Are you giving out? Are you giving signatures in this book? Is
I
this like
am. Now these books will be signed. The
okay?
books that
Okay.
are being distributed by me will be, signed, and I got a feeling your girl going places. So,
Yes, I'm looking forward to mine because I'm going to
you
have you
might
as
want
a
that
collector.
that
I'm
that
going to put it
John
in
Hancock.
plastic so this way it doesn't get dusty. I'm going to be like, I have a Tempest, a Newsome, Elijah signed
Right.
original
Right.
book. You never
Exactly.
know. You never know. So what's the email address? I'm going to put it right here in
So
the
it's just
comments.
tempestnewsome@gmail.com.
This Newsome all together, right?
Yep, all together, all lowercase at gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Awesome. Awesome. So please hit her up. Hit her up. Get the book. Get your copy.
Get the
Um,
copies.
yes. Yes. We have April here. April said I had a conversation with Tempest where she taught me I need to be more than just a mom. Made me literally think who I am and who do I want to become. Thank her for that.
Oh, oh,
Yes. Yes.
April.
I love it. I love it. I love all the support. I love it.
You,
Stacy, keep up the
everyone.
good work. Tempest. It's Tempest. That's right. right.
That's
This
right.
is Daddy Newsom. Daddy
Oh,
Newsom. So proud of
Daddy.
you, baby girl. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Rashana, congratulations, Tempest. Hey, Rashana.
Look at
So awesome.
everybody. Look at
So
you
awesome. I love
guys.
all the support. I love all the support. And
Yes.
the energy, like I said, the energy that you're getting is energy that you've given. You
Oh,
have given
yeah.
out so much positive energy through your light and through your spirit. And we're just so proud, of you being able to write this book and help us all heal, and everything that you're doing and being a mom of nine, right? And still finding time, for your husband and your
And a
family and
wife.
all those things and a wife, right? Finding
That's a
time
part
to
of
do
it.
all the things in your life, and we are appreciative. The world, I know for myself, I'm absolutely appreciative.
Thank
The
you.
light that you bring to the world. And I'm looking forward to reading this book. Jamila got
Yes,
her
you
copy.
did,
I'm
Jamila.
looking forward to reading my copy. I ordered my
Yes.
copy. Beaming with Pride. I've always been a fan. I love that. I love that.
Yay.
I've
Thank
always
you,
also been
Jamila.
a
You know you
fan.
my girl. Yes.
Yeah. So, for anybody, so we have a small kind of like contest going on. Tempest is going to give away a free book. Actually, she's going to give away a
Woo.
free book. We have her email address here. And I think I spelled your name right. Did I spell your name right? I think yeah. STT. Okay, I want to make sure I
Yep.
spell it right. Two T's, one S. Okay. So um the first person to email Tempest from now the next 20 minutes, she's going to send you a free book. So email her
Woo.
with the word free book, and she's going to send you your own free signed
Autograph,
copy,
signed copy.
autograph, Chapter 48, The Healing Anthology. Please get your copy. Please heal. Please make sure that you're reading it. Please make sure that you're using stories to be able to heal and move to wellness. So I like to ask, this is the parent impact. So I like to ask our guests on the parent impact. And this can be more than one thing, but what is your parent impact? Right? What do you think one or two things that you can say would be the impact that you're having either on your children or other children or just on families as a parent? What is Tempest parent impact?
I would have to say good vibes, right? And that's
Yes,
so important. I love that you mentioned that a lot this evening because you just never know what people are going through.
yes,
So to impact in a spiritual way, giving off good energy
yes,
can change a person's entire thought process.
absolutely, absolutely.
And also I will also say my impact would be perseverance.
Yes, I love.
I never stop involving myself
Yes,
in being an impact
I love it.
when it comes to things as little as every single teacher that my children have ever come in contact with. If that's a lot.
A
I've
lot.
had an relationship with them.
Yes,
Oh, I love you guys. I every administrative person, teacher, because it's important to make your face known. I just need us parents to understand how important we are and don't give up.
that's right.
Perseverance is everything. A lot of the times we feel like we only the parents and we're not being heard, but it's only your child that fills those seats in those
Right. That's right.
schools,
That's right.
that gives those teachers and that administrative staff something to do.
Right.
It's only your
Absolutely.
children.
Absolutely.
So that's a big only.
Right.
Because if it wasn't for your children, they wouldn't have their place.
Absolutely. Two
Period.
most important stakeholders, the two most important stakeholders, the students and the parents, right? Number one
Absolutely.
and number two, two
That's
most
it.
important stakeholders. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I love those two. And I think you make a huge impact, right, with your energy and your spirit and also your perseverance. So please continue to be your authentic self,
Yeah.
speak out, help us all with your healing and your words. And we look forward to connecting with you again. And thank you so much for all that you do. And thank you for the book. We look forward to reading it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you
Thank you so
everyone
much.
for
Thank
all
you.
the
Have a good
love and the
holiday.
support. You as
Yes, thank
well.
you. Thank you so much for being our guest. We really appreciate you.
Thank
Have a
you
good
guys.
one.
You too.
Thank you. Whew, thank you, everyone. This fills me up. I was so looking forward to talking with Tempest today. Like it's I just love talking to people who are authentic and really using their spirit and using their light, especially when they're using their words to be able to not only impact their families, right, but impact other families, impact young women. Tempest talked a lot about teenage violence and teenage pregnancy and how she wants to share her story with others, right? So they know that they can heal and they can overcome and they're not alone. Also, having been a teenage mother myself, I absolutely feel, her passion for wanting to work with youth. It's confusing as a teenager. You have a lot of things going on, hormones, especially now in this COVID environment. A lot is going on with teenagers, but we have to be there for them. We have to share our voices and share our stories and make sure that we're using different avenues to be able to heal, but also make sure that we are pouring into ourselves, right? Because we can't pour into others unless we have a full picture. So thank you so much for watching the Parent Impact tonight. It was such a great show, such great energy, such a feel-good person. I love Tempest. You will definitely see her again. We're not done with her. We know she's gonna have big things happening. So, please email her. Thank you, Stacy. Please email her, get a copy of the book. Enjoy the evening. Thank you again for joining us tonight on the Parent Impact. If you want to know more about us, check us out on Facebook at the Parent Impact, on Twitter, on Instagram. And while you're out there thinking, think about what your impact is, right? Parents, think about what is your parent impact? What impact do you make on your children or other people's children and on the world? Thank you. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.